Okay, back here with another review and commentary of today's trading session. Just give me 1 second, just trying to get everything sorted here. Okay, so today was rather a difficult day for me, but I did manage to end the day in the profitable. Let's just go here to the end, then we'll see the P&L of the day. So basically took some big losses off the open, and then it was just a grind to get back to, first of all, back to break even. That was like halfway into the session, and then I managed to end at almost $800 profit at the end of the day. So quite a few losses in there. I made some mistakes. Could have been worse. Obviously could have been better. I think taking these losses, I promised myself not to trade the first 10 to 15 minutes of the open, because I know that I'm typically, if I take losses off the open, I tend to lose quite a lot. And I just saw, while I was observing price action unfolding, I saw several setups. I was like, I need to get in, but no, I'm holding myself back. I promised myself don't enter, and all of those setups that I saw played out exactly as I expected. I would have made money on them, and then finally when I then decide, okay, now I don't want to hesitate anymore, I want to join this market, obviously you know, the market starts going against me. So that definitely put me off somewhat. And then, I mean, it was psychologically challenging to sort of go through that and then making my way back. But I managed at the end of the day. So let me shortly explain what it is that I'm looking for. Just ignore the chart here. I mean, I'm basically looking at absorption, right? So I'm using delta and price. I'm comparing the two to see where are aggressive buyers and sellers being absorbed and exhausted, and I'm expecting a short-term reversal of those areas of absorption and exhaustion. So on the left side, we have a cluster chart. It's just it's basically a delta cluster chart. So when you see thick green lines, it basically just means there's a lot of aggressive market buying going on up in these areas. And when there's big red lines coming out to the right, that means that there is a lot of aggressive selling going on. So an example of absorption is, for example, we see these 3 bars here. I should say also this is the 250 tick chart. So each of these bars is 250 ticks. It's not a time based chart, and I do find an advantage in using that when I'm reading the delta, because price, like the flow of orders is not really, like, time doesn't really matter, right? It's the levels that ultimately matters, the order flow within each level. If it's a 1 minute bar, a 2 minute bar, 5 minute bar, it doesn't really matter much. So sometimes I do find an advantage in reading it off of a range bar, a tick bar, something like that. So at the moment I'm reading this off of the 250 ticks. Anyway, an absorption and exhaustion would be something like this. We see a lot of interest in selling down here, like a lot of delta, red delta, meaning there is aggressive sellers trying to push the price further down. But here there's a lot of interest right here, still a lot, but somewhat less, and then even less here. So they really try hard, but they can't get through. And at that point, we say that the passive buyers that were sitting down here with their limit orders on the bid, they have absorbed all of the aggressive selling into this price level. And eventually, when they bought up all the contracts passively that the aggressive sellers had to offer, the aggressive sellers gets exhausted, and we see a price reversal. Right? We don't know how far that price reversal is going to be, but I just try to capitalize on maybe 20 to 30 ticks, depending on the volatility of the market. So in essence, that's what I'm looking for. I'm also looking at volume profile. You see that here on the chart over on the right, there's a volume profile behind the bars here. So you'll see a new, basically it's every 5 minutes, right? Every 5 minutes there's a new volume profile printing. So yeah, let's just start it, run it through. I think market open is, let's just scroll through a little bit. So it's a rather long session. Maybe I'll show some of these setups that I saw off the open, and you'll see what I mean, that that it's I saw some setups and I hesitated because I promised myself not to get into it, and then they did play out. You'll also see here the delta. I've set it so that it starts recalculating off the open. So this is New York open. That's why I sort of scroll my chart now a little bit more to the right, just because I just like to reset the delta at the open. But obviously then that makes it so that it's difficult to really see what's going on here on the delta until that there's more price being printed on the chart. So yeah, for now we just see aggressive selling and it's being followed through by price. So far there's nothing really, no divergence between what the aggressors and are doing and what's happening in the market. And even here we start seeing not a lot of aggressive selling, but price is still going further down. That just shows me there's a lot of passive sellers sitting here and continuing to push price lower down. So here's, for example, a setup where we see very strong selling on the price, but there's not a whole lot of aggressive selling compared to the aggressive buying. Look at all this aggressive buying that took place here in order to move this candle up here, compared to the tiny amount of aggressive selling that it took to get price back to 50% of that bar. So that's something I'm looking at. Okay, the big boys, the passive sellers are definitely still in control here, and it could be a good short, especially if price retraces back up to this area. Maybe I can get in for a short. I could aggressively also just get in for a short back down to this low, maybe even target some of the volume that's still left down here, a little bit lower than that. So again, that played out, and again here we see continued. There's even now absorption. So this is something that I call dynamic absorption. It's not just price coming into a level, being absorbed, and then it goes further up. Typically, you'll see many times that the passive buyers and sellers move their limit orders with price, and that's what you see when you get just these grinds that just continue down in one straight line. That's rarely done by aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers. Many times you'll see that's done by actually the big guys moving the limit orders further and further down, just tracing behind price. So any attempt at moving price back up higher, creating a pullback, is basically denied by the passive sellers. And that's what we see here. We see a whole lot of buying to push price up, not a whole lot of aggressive selling. And we even see then they attempt with very strong aggressive buying down here again, but it's just being completely denied by the passive sellers sitting on the ask, and they're just pushing price further down. So that typically indicates to me that price wants to continue breaking this level and continue further down. And that is what happens, and this is something, and we see the same thing here again. Also, we see it over here on the delta right. Very strong interest in market buyers, aggressive buyers, to try to push price up from here. Again, they came in right here at this level, but they're just not managing. By the way, these blue lines that you see here, that's basically just like a heat map. It just shows liquidity on the order book. I don't look too much at it. I mainly use it as sort of like if there's a large order sitting somewhere, then that typically wants to get filled. So down here we had these large buy order sitting on the order book. It's good areas to place your take profit, basically. That's more what I'm aiming at. Price tends to get pulled into these higher liquidity pools. So again, we saw that, and I'm feeling now I'm missing out. I'm not. I see it clearly. I don't hit the buttons because I promised myself don't join in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Wait till the volatility settles down. Again, here we see a lot of buying, and so now I'm starting to get like, oh man, this is annoying. Seeing the setups and not taking them, and here we start seeing aggressive buyers coming in, a lot of aggressive buyers on the delta, but not a whole lot of aggressive price moving to the upside. So let's see. I think I'm gonna enter soon, and I'm gonna exit out again rather quickly. Again, we saw same thing here. The passive sellers are still in control. I think at this point, I think I'm gonna enter in soon. Or maybe it's from the next break. So again, basically what we saw here, if you notice, we needed all of these buyers, aggressive buyers, to push price up in one bar, and that was immediately taken out, but not with a whole lot of aggressive sellers behind that. So that again tells me that the passive sellers are just restacking on the ask, making sure that price has no chance of getting further up, right? So everybody's been taken out. Everybody's trying to market in aggressively. I want to get the rebound. I want to get the reversal, and it just the passive sellers are denying that. So now I had like at least 3 setups that would have played out that I didn't participate in, and I'm starting to get annoyed. And then I think I enter on a mediocre setup, just chasing it basically. So let's see how it goes. So now I'm just zooming out, seeing what levels are we having here. I don't pay too much attention to levels. Obviously, a lot of traders are looking at those levels, but we see, for example, that one, right? This was a significant level. It just tanks right through it. I do put an emphasis on volume, like high volume nodes. Like for example, up here we see a lot of volume, so that's definitely an area of interest for me. But just a level, a reversal point is not that significant to me. Again, I really try to just observe. If there had been some kind of print on the delta compared to price that would signal to me a reversal off of it, I would definitely take it. But I can't see it just from the order book, if that level is going to hold or not, because typically you'll see spoofing where even there's a big order sitting and they just take it off right before price comes into it. So now we start seeing something that signals to me. We saw a lot of aggressive sellers down here, and down here, and they're getting rejected. So at this point, I am starting to think, okay, maybe now a short-term reversal is going to take place. I don't know if this is what I'm participating in, but that was sort of the first sign we saw where the aggressive sellers are actually getting absorbed. And then we get that short squeeze up to the upside. And that would have been more than enough for me to take profit. I think that's about 20 ticks. Still see some aggression in the or like some strength in the passive buyers. I don't know if you saw it, but over here we saw all of the aggressive buying taking place and immediately getting rejected, even though there were this liquidity pool up here. So basically price came up, took out this liquidity, interest from aggressive buyers, but they're being rejected. Off the break of this level, it would have been good for a good short down. We saw it on the delta indicator over here as well. I'm also looking at the DOM, but I don't have screen space basically to show that visually here in these recordings, because the setup is just not having enough real estate on it to be able to short. So basically here I take the first short, very mediocre, very late in the trend, right? I saw all these missed opportunities, and then I get in here very late. I chicken out immediately. I don't like it, so I just take it off. I wanted that continued push to the downside immediately, otherwise I wouldn't be interested. So that was like minus $40, nothing crazy, but still. So again, if anyone is joining the stream, feel free to ask any questions and I'll be happy to answer them. So here I think I'm going to take a loss. For sure it looks like it. I mean, just
order filled.
Very, very, very silly. But
Cancelled.
there's no excuses, doesn't help. So now I entered again. We saw these aggressive sellers down here below the low getting absorbed and getting exhausted to some extent. I'm also seeing the amount of aggressive sellers it takes to get price just below this level here. I am expecting a sweep now to the upside, and I think I'm gonna get filled on the so I've got a quick take profit on that one. And again here, I enter late. The setup is valid enough. By the time that this bar here closed, there were definitely some trap traders. We see the extended delta to the upside, and price is getting rejected up there. So I did expect a retrace down, at least down to this volume node here where I put my TP. I think I'm gonna take another loss on this one. So I'm also looking at these levels. Like I move my stop up just a little bit because I see these levels they might hold as a and they might hold as a lot of sellers would be sitting up here behind this. Basically, I'm also seeing there's liquidity on the book now. Not a whole lot of interest in the buying up here, so there's not a lot of absorption going on, but obviously it can also just mean that the buyers are not interested anymore, so that can also cause a reversal. But yeah, a very strong buying now. I think I'm going to take a big loss off of this one. So yeah, I filled another contract. Also something I really shouldn't be doing, and I'm risking to take a big loss here, but I am expecting we're above these highs. There is absorption going on up here. They did get liquidity in the run up. I am expecting a short reverse to the downside, maybe at least down to this volume node here. So I filled another contract up there. Let's see, I don't remember if I take a big loss on this one or... it looks like it. So that was a $500 loss. This equity line over here, it takes a while for it to update. But you'll see the equity, the P&L updating in just a bit.
Order cancelled.
Again, the reason why I took that short, a little bit aggressive also, but we just see this whole cluster of buyers, aggressive buyers up here, and then we see the rejection off of that immediately. So I get in basically right here, the moment that I see that sort of failing, that move to the upside.
Order filled.
So, and I was targeting this white line, that's the volume point of control in this whole price action right here. So where the most volume was traded. I could have targeted lower down as there had been a lot of aggressive. I think I'm going to take a loss on this one also. Don't remember. that setup was basically just off of volume. So not necessarily that I saw a whole lot of absorption taking place, but break and retest off of this level and volume being exchanged here. So I did expect buyers to step up.
Order cancelled.
Again, I'm just moving my stop down below this wick. Don't remember what happens here. Now I start seeing some absorption taking place. You can see this in real time, where we have aggressive sellers on the delta. There's all of these sellers down here, and continued way more sellers in this bar, but yet prices moving up. So the only possibility really causing that is that the passive buyers down here are restacking the orders. So we don't see it in the order book, and that's also why I don't really rely on the order book, because it's so manipulated. But you will see that price is moving up regardless. Obviously, we don't know if that means that price will really stop and they'll get exhausted and we see the move up, or is this just going to continue further down? But I'm in taking a bit of heat on this trade as well. So let's see what happens here. Now we start seeing a little bit of absorption to the other side, right? We see a very strong delta, but price is not able to get above this area. So I'm starting to think if I should exit out of this position. Don't remember what happens.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, I just moved myself up to protect myself a little bit with my stop. Because if this reverses and swings around, I don't really want to get trapped in it. So I just took it off there, and then typically would at least be if price then goes up without me. Yeah, that's what happened. So these are the things. It's definitely doesn't help with the psychology. And then I enter short here, and I think I'm going to be taken out for a loss. Don't remember. There's not a whole lot of aggressive buyers that were caught up here, so it's starting to look sketchy. There's just
order cancelled.
Okay, now I do start seeing a little bit that the buyers are not able to get price further up, so I'm having confidence in this one, and I managed to get out of that one. But starting the day off with a negative 600 after the first couple of trades, that is pretty annoying. So again, we do start seeing some buyers getting caught down here. A lot of buying activity now going on, aggressive buying. Let's see how that reflects in price.
Order filled.
Seems to be a little bit of they're not really sure. I think they're gonna push this one further down. We see one last attempt here from the buyers coming up, and then they're getting rejected. So that's typically a bad sign.
Order cancelled.
I move my stop down there. I think this is a stop hunt, so I take another contract, and then I'm hoping to get out at a break even. If I don't,
order filled.
If I would have taken a loss, that would have been the second trade of the day of minus 500. So that would not have been good. But I did expect at least some interest in pushing price back up to major volume node here. So I did manage to get out with a small profit on that one. But again, not very beautiful trading. As I said, very challenging day today. Now we see a lot of interest in the sellers down here, in the aggressive sellers. The question is now, are they going to get trapped? Looks like it. So if we see right here, right, we see all these aggressive sellers down here, huge amount of aggressive sellers below this low. Yet we do start seeing that the price is actually reversing to the upside. So that's classic absorption, really. I don't know if I take this one, but seeing this now, I should definitely go long off of that. And then we see that very fast push up. So missed out on that one. Again, I mean, I was not really feeling myself during this trade session. It was challenging, but it all worked out in the end. But again, you see the
Order placed.
The setups are fairly
Order
easy
placed.
to spot. The only challenge with this is obviously it's very fast, and you need to think very fast. Where am I going to put my stop? Where am I going to put my take profit? You don't want to be too greedy with your take profit, and you also don't want to be too lax with your stop loss. But you need to be able to identify areas of where is price likely to be protected, where is your stop likely to be protected, and where is take profit likely to be on the right side of resistance. So I like to use these volume nodes together with the price as where I place my stop loss. So I'm thinking like if price goes down below this volume node, I don't really want to be in it because probably they're going to take it out at least to this volume node as well. And again with the take profit, I don't want to be too far away. Let's say there's heavy resistance in a volume node somewhere. I don't really want to be behind that. I want to be 1 or 2 ticks in front of that. I want to get out. I don't really like to sit in trades while they're ranging up and down until they reach my target. The reason why I took this trade right here is because we saw that heavy absorption and then a lot of aggression coming into the market. I see sort of like a break retest of this high volume node of the point of control, and then price continuing higher up. I don't know if I'm gonna get that or not, but that's at least sort of the thought behind it. And now we also start seeing a lot of aggressive sellers down here. They're getting absorbed, so I'm getting confident in this trade at this time. Again, obviously it never means anything. That's also the thing with order flow. We don't really look too much left in the past. So again, here I'm protecting my stop loss down below this volume node. I'm thinking if price wants to come down, if it breaks this volume, they're gonna take out this volume, and if that breaks, they're gonna take out the next one. So I'm just below this main volume node right here. And we also still see trapped sellers down here on the delta bars. So what I was saying with order flow, I'm not really that concerned in like long-term projections. I think the most edge you get with order flow is really in the very short term. That's also why I often exit out of trades quite fast if I see the order flow changing direction, because it really just tells what's happening right now. I mean, we're all different. We all trade differently. For me, it never really worked with like more long-term, even intraday trading. Here, very frustrating. I was 1 tick away from hitting my TP. I think I'm gonna maybe get out of this one at a small win or a small loss. For sure, I wouldn't like it if this one breaks down below this price again. And now we start seeing the buyers getting absorbed, right? We see on the delta here, we see a lot of buying. But price is starting to reverse. I definitely don't like that. I might cut that just at a small. I don't remember what happened, but definitely don't like seeing that when I'm in a position to the upside.
Order canceled.
So here I just move my stop up a little bit. Okay, so we did get out at a full take profit there, but could have in another scenario. So now we start seeing a lot of buying interest up above these highs, and I'm waiting to see, is price going to show signs that the passive sellers are in control up here, and then I'm gonna take a short if that happens. But they break it through, so I'm not
Order filled.
in here. Here I take a I don't know what I'm thinking here. I just saw price sort of stalling. These big delta bars is typically stop runs, so just stop orders being taken out. So that would have been sellers that had sold from anywhere in this move and had placed their stop loss orders up here. Typically you see these very large delta aggressive buyers as sort of like a stop run and then price reversing. So price gets up there, takes out this area that I think is like stop loss liquidity zone, expecting a reversal to the downside. But looking at this now, it's just foolish.
Order canceled.
And especially here at this point when we start seeing so if you saw here very strong aggression in the sellers, and price is not able to come further down, I should just hit the exit button and take a half a loss. But I think I don't react in time, and I just take the full loss of that one. So another rather frustrating trade here. I am looking at all this liquidity over here, and now a big order just came in, a couple of big orders here on the bid, and I am thinking they must want to come back down and take this liquidity before going up higher. I don't remember if we get that far down. For sure we start seeing some absorption. So there are a lot of aggressive sellers interested in this price down here, and the same here, and they're getting rejected both times. That could signal that this volume here is going to hold at least back up into the range. Yeah, so they pushed that up immediately. That I don't know why I didn't take that one, but this trading session was a little bit like that. I was hesitating on setups that were just clear as day, and I didn't take them, and then other times where I was like, nah, I'm not really sure about it. I entered anyway, and I lost on them. So that kind of those scenarios are very difficult for me to deal with. I typically it really influences me.
Order cancelled. Order filled. Order cancelled. Order placed.
So took the short there again, very aggressive. I think I'm gonna take a loss here on this one. I don't really see anything other than these buyers trapped up here and quite a lot of liquidity on the book. I think I'm gonna take a loss on this one. There's really no signs that price is gonna reverse. If it does, it's really luck at this time. We see, right, prices going up and aggressive buyers are in control. So like, I don't know why I would take that short. Again, if this turns around, it's really, at least by the time that I entered, there was nothing showing me in the order flow that price was going to reverse off of that point. I am looking at this high also as an area of like, okay, might turn around. Okay, good, got taken out for a stop there. I take an immediate reversal trade. We do start seeing some how do you say, a little battle going on between buyers and sellers, and there were that significant high that was taken out. Again, I moved my stop down here to very close to, I don't want to miss anything. Like, I don't want to risk much on this trade. And it just immediately reverses. I think I'm going to take this one off at a small loss here. So I took that off there, a small loss. Unfortunately, and I was too greedy with my take profit. This is what I said before. I should have placed my take profit at the largest resistance of volume that was on this point of control line, and I was greedy after that loss. I wanted a big win, and then that ended up then taking a small loss instead of at least taking something. So here I'm just placing a buy limit at this high volume node, and there'll be some trap traders down here if price comes down there. But again, we see a lot of aggressive selling coming down. I don't know if you saw that, but let's just go back here maybe. Think around. So let me just see if I can pause it at the right time so you'll see a really good. So here we see aggressive selling coming in, yet price is squeezing up. That is a strong signal this level is going to break. It's basically dynamic absorption, and basically the limit buyers, the passive buyers, just keep on restacking their bids and trailing behind price. So they force price to go further up without any significance. And we continue to see the aggressive sellers, they kept on trying, yet price came up here. So again, I'm so frustrating to see it happen and not really participating. Again, we just saw high liquidity order being taken out here. I think at this point I am starting to think, okay, this could be a place of reversal, just because there were this big seller sitting up here. The liquidity got filled. The sellers might be happy with that liquidity for now and start pushing price back towards volume, but let's see what happens. So now I'm also thinking that maybe they want this liquidity up here as well. There's not really a whole lot hiding down here. There is this one big order, but other than that, there's not a whole lot. Typically, you'll see price move towards where most of the liquidity is sitting in the book. Now I start seeing some absorption taking place where we have positive deltas, but we have price moving further and further down. That could signal that there's going to come a short squeeze to the downside very soon.
Order placed.
Here we really saw it, and I took that trade, and I'm happy I did it. I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but you see we have this very strong push from the buyers, right? They really try and push price up higher, but that's not reflected in price. So I'm thinking there is a big passive seller sitting up here holding this level, and will exhaust the buyers, at least coming back down to some volume down here. Let's see what happens. They continue trying. We see here the aggressive buyers are really trying to push price up, right? There are all of this aggressive buying taking place, but price is not really moving. So again, that's just confirming that the passive seller is still sitting here. The question is always, how many contracts is this passive seller looking to fill at this price level? Obviously, if he wants to fill, let's say, 50 contracts, and the aggressive buyers are willing to buy more than 50 contracts, and the aggressive buyers will win, and eventually price will go through. But typically when we see this many contracts, I'm not really looking at the numbers. I don't have time to read the amount of contracts either in the order in the DOM or anywhere else. But you just see it from the color coding. When we see such aggressive attempt to try to push price through and it's holding, it typically indicates that a short reversal is coming, and it can be a very rapid one. I think I remember this one. I think I'm being taken out just at my stop loss and then price reverses, if I remember correct. Well, not quite. I didn't get taken out on that one. I think there's another trade in this session where that happens, but basically we see this is
Order canceled.
what I was talking about. There's that squeeze that then comes to the downside. They did make one final attempt, and probably the passive seller that was sitting here, he just lifted the ask very shortly to get some more buyers trapped in here before then restacking the limit sells up here to squeeze price down. It's all about liquidity, right? They want to pull in as many orders that they can, as many contracts as they can, and then take price to the other side. That's really what it's all about. Is this one big sort of vacuum they're just trying to pull traders in. Once they're in, they take it up in the opposite direction and they just squeeze them out of their positions. So I don't really know how to use this YouTube stuff here, but I think I can see someone is watching right now. If you are watching, please leave a comment or something in the chat so I can see someone is here. It's the first time I'm doing this type of live interaction type of stream. So now it definitely looks like at least for now, the passive sellers are starting to get in control. You just basically, I see that through very sharp movement in price and not a whole, it doesn't look the same, right? On the delta compared to price. Price is falling very steeply. Delta is not falling very steeply. So Again, the delta is a ratio between aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers, so it's there's still going to be, even though they're red, there's still a lot of buyers in these aggressive buyers in these bars here. Let's see what happens now here. Start looking like there is a little bit of absorption to the downside taking place now. They managed to squeeze through though. But yeah, you see how there's all these aggressive buyers stepping in here, yet price is rejecting it. So I did enter short there also. Let's see what happens.
Order cancelled.
The entry looks fine to me at least. I don't know if I'm gonna take.
Order cancelled.
I don't like how it's so I took it off there again immediately. At a small loss, of course, and it would have had TP there. They just wanted a little bit more liquidity. I didn't like how it came down to my TP and then started reversing back up. So I just I took it off for a small loss. So also now we have jolts at 14 server time. I think now it's 13:48. So that was 10 a.m. at Eastern Standard Time. So I don't really like to trade too much around the news. Now I definitely see some squeeze here, some absorption taking place from the buyers. I am thinking they want this low down here, so I just place my limit order down there. I don't know if I'm gonna get filled. But again, we start seeing passive or aggressive sellers getting trapped down here. So many aggressive sellers and prices not moving further down. I think the squeeze up is gonna come before I get filled in this one.
Order placed.
Okay, I got filled there.
Order cancelled.
And immediately reverse up to my TP. I have to get better at holding these longer when I see that there is a very strong absorption going on. Like all of these sellers getting trapped down here, and we had that significant wig over here. I should really just hold on to that trade until I start seeing any signs in the order flow signaling that now price would reverse. Yeah, I took it from here to here. I could have at least doubled that. So that was a $200 win. I could have at least have taken 400 out of that. That's something I really want to get better at holding those trades a little bit longer when I can see this is going to be a strong reversal off of that area. Here, I don't know why I didn't take that one. If you see these highs here is this down here on the delta, and then we needed all of this buying pressure to get price, and it didn't even close up above this high. So I don't know why I didn't take that for the short immediately. I remember during it happened, I was again hesitating, and then I just didn't take it. I think I take it now to the upside instead though. Or maybe I get in again to the downside. I remember I did play 1 or 2 moves within this price action here. I mean, there's liquidity above us and below us, so it's difficult to say really where they want to take price. I think I get long
Order
here.
placed.
Yeah. So basically what we saw happening is we have these trapped sellers down here. It came back down, rejected it once again. My fill was a little bit late. I think there was some slippage on it on that one.
Order
But
placed.
at
Order
least for a
placed.
short scalp up to here, I'm fairly confident. They are stalling now though.
Stop filled. Order placed. Order cancelled.
I took that long again, hoping that this trap down here is going to hold at least. I don't remember what happens. Might take another loss in this one. Well, they do squeeze it up now. Again, I'm not really
Order filled.
too certain this time where price is taking. I should take another short there. I can see now there's a lot of
Order cancelled.
and I did take that one.
Order cancelled.
Don't want to risk too much on it, so I'm just putting this.
Order
I took it off again. I didn't like, so basically by the time that I entered, there were basically trap buyers in this bar, and I expected price to come back down to this volume at least, but then by the time that I entered and then this started unfolding, we did see the opposite starting to happen. So we see all these sellers stepping in and then price came back above this level. So that indicates, okay, now the passive buyers are taking this up higher. So I got out at a small loss there instead of taking the full loss. So this starts looking now like they're starting to get trapped up here. All the buyers are really trying to break out of this level. If this reverses back in, I'm definitely happy to take that short. I don't remember what happens, but it starts building up now. I did take the short. A little premature. Maybe I didn't really see the confirmation in price. Let's see if I... Yeah. Don't. Okay, so they keep on getting absorbed. The question is this seller then willing to trail his limit sell orders further down so we get the full squeeze? So far, it's still difficult to say. There's still a lot of aggressive buyers definitely interested. Let's see if they're getting squeezed or not. There they came. So I think I'm gonna exit this one at a... For sure, I don't like how price is getting shooting up there directly. I don't remember if I hold this one and wait for my TP or stop loss to get hit. But what you see over here in the delta, this enormous amount of aggressive sellers taking place, and then price immediately goes to the upside. I don't like that at all when I'm in for the sell, because that's typically like a stop run. I do think they want this volume down here at least, or maybe this volume down here. So I think that's maybe why I'm holding on to it. Don't remember what happens. Still, there is definitely some sellers interested up here, so I am holding on to it for now. But again, the sellers are not really able to squeeze it.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
So took it off there. I didn't like it anymore. I didn't like how the buyers kept on buying it up. It's annoying. Was a few ticks away from my take profit, and then I took a break even on that one. So now it's like 5 minutes before the news release. Yeah, putting in now here, so there will be no trading. But actually, I'm saying don't trade now because it's getting erratic. And then here I see a setup forming. I don't remember if I miss out on this one. I remember I take a trade when I'm not supposed to take it, and then I lose on it, of course. It's just the theme of this session, but Gonna fast forward a little bit here until after the news. So that was the news, this little whipsaw here. Again here, easy to see now, but I was hesitating in the moment. We have all of this volume up here, and we see a huge amount of buyers that it needed to take price up, and we're not above this high. And the reason why I'm not taking it is because liquidity really drops during news events, so the order book gets thinned out. So I can't really rely on delta too much around the like 5 minutes after news releases when the order book is filling up again. So, but otherwise it looks like a really good setup, right? We have this amount of buyers basically to get price up to this, and then they buy. They get so aggressive, they have to use so much strength to get up, and they're not even breaking this high. We're up in this volume cluster up here, so that would have been a good place to at least sell it back down to this, or down to these wicks. Don't know if I'm doing it or not, but definitely looks like a good setup. Yeah, that was that squeeze, came there right down to that volume node basically. So right now we're still down -100 on the day. And we are half an hour into the session. So the reason why I took this long back up to volume, if you see all of these sellers down here, and then price going back up, that just, I mean, it's just trapped sellers. So there was a passive buyer sitting down here, squeezing price back up.
Cancelled.
Again, you can see you need to be very fast on the trigger with these setups, because you have less, I mean, a few milliseconds, and then the edge is gone really. So there is no time to hesitate. If you hesitate, price is already moved up there. The setup is already gone. Right, price might go further up. Okay, it does in this case, but many times this is the move that I want to get. Now we see also this is like a typical stop run where they have so many buyers, they just squeeze price up. I could have taken that for a short as well. I don't know why I didn't, but sometimes it's like that. Might get in here on the short side.
Order filled.
Okay, I
Order
was
cancelled.
hesitating a little bit there, but then finally I did pull the trigger.
Order
Which,
cancelled.
fair enough. I really needed to see some kind of confirmation on the price. It was a little bit late. I should have entered right when this bar closed. When we saw a very positive delta and a slightly red bar. The reason why I'm confident in staying in this trade and leaving it on, I mean, I might get stopped out, and I think that's actually, I think this is the one where I get stopped out to the tick and then price goes in my direction, because we see this squeeze from aggressive buyers. They're really trying, but someone is holding the price down. So obviously my take profit, my stop loss was a little bit too close to price. But anyway, sometimes it's like that.
Order placed.
And yeah, this I remember this very clearly. It's basically tagging my limit entry to the long side, and I would have taken that up to this volume. No, but I don't get filled. Ah, there we did get filled. Let's see. I am worried that they will take at least this volume here, or maybe even this wick here. So that's why I have my stop loss below this wick. I do think that this holds. Don't remember. Think I'm gonna exit. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here, but there's no real signs to me that the price will continue up higher, other than we are in this upward channel. But I'm definitely having my finger on the exit button here.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
I took that off a little bit before TP was hit. The reason why I took it off again, we see this so much aggression that it took from the buyers to get price up, and they didn't even break this high. So I would be interested actually in taking a short off of that level. But I was in a position, so I just wanted to get out of that first of all. But I could have just reversed that one. And again, we start seeing some high liquidity up here, protecting this level up there also. I am thinking they might want to come back up into this and take it out. At least we have this big order resting right here. So here we see, yeah, and I took that one also the moment that I saw that, and I saw it here also playing out. So obviously there's a liquidity zone down here, right? We had all of this liquidity hiding down here. A lot of aggressive sellers trying to push price down. It gets rejected up immediately. We see that on there is so many more. Let's see the delta. That is minus 100 at the moment that this is stopped. That means there's 100 more sellers than buyers in this bar that is now basically right where it opened. So let's say that there were 200 contracts sold. That means there were only 100 contract bought. So even though that there were only 100 contract bought in this bar and price is still back up at where it opened, with 200 contracts sold within this bar, that tells me, okay, price is probably gonna reverse back up. So that's a classic absorption pattern, like a static absorption pattern. Let's see if it plays out.
Order placed. Order canceled.
Obviously there is this wick down here also that I'm thinking that they might want to fill. I'm holding my, so here now they start the move to the upside. Now we're at the high volume node, so I'm thinking if this is gonna reverse, it's gonna do it now. But I did get out of that one at the full TP. But that was a very good example of like static absorption basically taking place. And that's now happening to the other side. So let's just go back a little bit and you'll see this in better detail. So if you're looking over here on the delta, look at the interest in the buyers, right? All these green bars coming out, that's high volume, high delta buying, high aggressive buying compared to aggressive selling. And then let's see what happens here with price. it's rejecting it, right? So we have this wick forming, and now all of these buyers sitting up here, they're trapped. So that's the first sign. This is probably gonna fall back down. They give it one more chance. I don't know why I'm hesitating here. By the time that this starts forming red like that, I definitely should enter, especially when we still have a green or a positive delta, right? We have still a delta of 17 in this bar, even though that the bar is red. I should immediately hit the sell button the moment that this sort of falls in and turns red. So out of target is something like these volume nodes down here. I don't even know if we're gonna get there, but that would definitely be my target, and then stop loss up above this high here. And we see continued, right? We still see a positive delta. We still see more buying than up in the highs, meaning that the aggressors are still trying to buy it up, but the passive sellers are saying, not for now. At least we don't know how long they're gonna push it down, but at least the strong guys, the passive sellers are still saying we still want to protect this area until that they lift it, right? So that might happen now. Well, at least I did get in there. I don't know why I was hesitating from all the time up here, but at least I did get into the move there. I don't know if I'm gonna get filled for a TP or a stop loss on this one. Let's see what happens. So now the question is, are they still gonna hold this area? I mean, I'm in the underwater for now, but this was where the passive selling started taking place. So that's, I don't want to see that level break. And here it stalls right before my TP, and I just took it off there. I didn't want to see it reverse back up. So yeah, at this point we're about 150 on the day. I think, yeah, this is not recalculated yet, so that was another 100. We're probably around 225 or something like that for now.
Order placed. Order cancelled. Order placed.
So I put my buy limit order there just off of this high volume node and below this wick. Let's see, I don't think I'm gonna get filled on that one. Oh, they squeeze it back up immediately. So that would have basically just been trying to catch these trapped buyers below this wick off the high volume node of this demand zone, but didn't get filled.
Order placed. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Don't really know why I went in there. No real strong. I mean, I guess a little bit, but yeah, nothing really there. No reason really to go short off of that. Don't know if I'm gonna take a loss here. It looks like it.
Order cancelled.
Yeah,
Order
took the
placed.
loss there. Immediately reverses, very aggressive. I think that was kind of like a revenge trade, to be honest. Don't really see anything in the order flow to tell me to step in there. The only thing that I see is just these highs being taken out, and if the trend is down, they take out the highs and then they put another leg down. Think I'm gonna take another full, yeah, so I took another full loss. Stupid trading. No real setups, just made $300 loss on that one, $250 loss on that. Again here, the only reason going short, just the liquidity was taken out. this order actually, so sometimes you'll see when they're spoofing, right, that you have the order on and then it's been taken out right before that price actually gets up there, but this one was kept on the book, so that seller actually did get filled. Price rejects off of it. A little bit of trap traders up here, trap buyers, not a whole lot. I wouldn't really call that absorption to any extent, but nevertheless I try to take that to a move to the downside.
Order cancelled.
But really not very good trading at this time. I'm targeting. I'm really gonna take another loss here. Yeah, I took it off almost a break even, another small loss. I was targeting these wicks here with my take profit, but obviously price didn't get down there. It comes down there now, but I didn't like how it came back up to my entry, so it's almost painful to watch. But I guess, I mean, it's good for me also to go through this and review it for my own sake. It's really not just to help others. It's also for myself to get better and see the mistakes that I'm doing and hopefully not do them again in the future. Now I start seeing some absorption to the upside. Don't know how far this could maybe squeeze back up to volume here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna enter long. It is sketchy after main high of the day has been taken out and then they start dumping. That can signal a very strong move to the downside. But again, we do see more sellers down here and they're not being, they're not really winning, at least for now. They keep trying, but somebody's sitting here buying that level. So there we got the squeeze. Now on the contrary, we see a lot of buyers were up here and they're sort of being rejected now. So could very much roll over to the downside again immediately. Now we also see they really push through. Yeah, so I take the short there. We see them keep on trying to push through and price is not really moving up. We are close to this high volume cluster, close to point of control within these 5 minutes of the past whatever time this is. So I'm expecting at least these wicks down here to be filled before they take price up higher. I'm placing my stop loss just above point of control. And we see they basically try again. I don't know if you saw it before, but there were a lot of buyers up here and then price falls further down. That just tells me again, okay, the big boys are still forcing price to continue down. Obviously it is sort of like ranging here, so I don't want to be too aggressive with my take profit below these wicks. Let's see what happens. So I got filled there on the take profit and then at least for now it looks like price is on the way back up. Okay, so now let's see what happens. It definitely looks like there's going to be another squeeze to the downside. Let's just see, very positive delta, but is getting rejected here. They might win on this one. Let's see what happens if they make another leg down. Okay, so the aggressors seems to be winning this one, at least for now. Well, they're getting rejected there. This could look like a good short, to be honest. If you look at the the high, the swing high on the delta here, we're basically back at that point, meaning we had the same amount of buying, aggressive buying coming back up to that high, but obviously we're nowhere close to that high. So someone is sitting up here, filling a sell on the ask, a limit order. So it looks like it's gonna fall further down. I would probably take that one down to this volume node here, but I don't know if I do it. Yeah, we got that filled. I don't know why I didn't take that one. Annoying. But might not even have gotten filled on the TP. I mean, it went right to the high volume node. I tried to be a little bit on the other side, but it's very close here. I might have gotten out at a break even on that one anyway, so. So again, pretty much at break even now. Very, very challenging day. So again, I'm trying to go short here. We basically see the same scenario now. We are, it's not even that good of a setup now looking back. I think I'm looking at this volume node as resistance coming above these highs. And yeah, these strong buyers up here. I got in a little bit premature. I would have liked to see this reverse. I mean, the entry is good now, but I would have liked this to print a little bit red, come below these aggressive buyers up here before I would enter in. Let's see what happens. Now I'm putting my TP just above this high volume node here.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, not trying to be greedy.
Order cancelled.
So got filled on that one. Could look like a buy here. A lot of sellers trapped down here, and price sweeping back up, at least up to this volume up here. Don't know if I'm taking it or not. So now we start seeing the opposite happening. The buyers trapped up on the top side. So that's basically just like a ping pong move back and forward. At least if I would have been in that long, I would have exit out again here, because it's not really clear what's going to happen. And I'm thinking they might want to take the liquidity below this low before then making the real move.
Order placed. Order cancelled. Order placed. Order cancelled.
So I took that to the short side. I entered a little bit late. The reason for it basically being, again, the trapped longs up here. A bar, very bullish delta on this bar here, and it didn't go up, right? Price didn't go further up, so I'm expecting somebody sitting here selling this aggressively. I tried to enter. I was a little bit slow on the trigger, so I got filled down here. I only got this move, which is probably like 15 ticks or so. I really should have gotten the whole move from up here to down there, but again, speed of execution is really crucial with this type of trading. And now we see again, look at the size of this red bar compared to the amount of buyers it takes to get up through here. That is a signal to me that they're gonna squeeze up price very fast now. Don't know if I'm taking that to the long side or not. That seems like it's gonna go without me. I don't know why I didn't take that one long again. I think I'm just hesitating. Gonna skip forward a little bit here. I think there were some good trades in here. There came a very fast move to the downside. Basically like a stop run on a higher time frame. So again, the reason why I go long off of that one is we see it took a whole lot of sellers to get price down to like 50% of this range. So if we have a high here and a low here, we're basically 50% retraced back into that range. But the delta is almost filling out the down to the bottom. So I'm taking that, even though there have been such a fast drop to the downside. I start seeing signs of reversals on the delta here to the upside. So I'm taking that one long. And I'm putting it, take profit here at this high volume node. I don't know if you can see that. But again, I'm just always placing my take profit at first level of resistance. I could obviously have taken more, but also because we're in such a strong downtrend, I really don't want to push too much. I am looking at this level here. Right there could be a very interesting spot for a short. We have this zone right here where a lot of people had placed their limit buy orders, and I saw as price came down to it. They made this very strong push. You see this huge volume here being printed. That's just the seller saying like all these buyers that had placed their limit buys down here, screw you. we're gonna stop you out immediately. That's what they did. But then typically when you see that type of move where they're just plowing through a level of both stop loss orders for the people that had bought all this move up, and an area where people will be interested in buying, typically when it comes back up to that, there's gonna be like a reversal, like a break and retest type of trade. I didn't take it. It annoys me, quite frankly, but I think this looks like I'm going to take another long here. You see how delta continues moving down, meaning that there's still, most people still expect price is going to continue further down, but price is actually trending up. So that again just signals to me now the big players have changed direction, and price is actually going to move up, at least for the short term. There's some liquidity up here that they want. So they're again trapping sellers to the downside, but in reality they want to move price higher up. So I think I'm going to take another long here. This would have been perfect. Yeah, right there. I did take it. We see this last squeeze down, and we didn't even break this low here. So
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Let's see if I get filled in that one. I think I do.
Order cancelled.
Okay, I took it off there. I didn't quite get to TP. I didn't like how it was stalling right at this volume again here. But again, I think that was a $130 trade or something. I'm really just taking these small trades and doing that many times in a day. Obviously commissions is quite expensive. I think today I took 50 trades, so I ended up paying 200 something dollars in commissions, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, it's just the price you pay. So let's see, now we start seeing a lot of buyers up here. Not a whole lot in this original wick, but a lot of buyers interested here. I think I'm starting to look at, should I maybe take a short here if these buyers are getting trapped up here. If this starts printing red, I would be happy to take a short down to this volume point of control. Let's see what happens, but I think they just continue squeezing up, at least for now. Yeah, so it didn't flip red, so I wasn't convinced that they were gonna, that the aggressors had been exhausted. On the contrary, now we see price moving higher even though we have negative deltas. So I'm definitely thinking that they're still moving price higher at this point. Could arguably have taken a long off of that one. It's just, yeah, I don't know. No real safe place to put your stop. I mean, I guess I could have put it here and then just target the top of the range. I took the long there on the retest of this, and again, the reason for it being, if you compare the amount, the range of this bar with this delta bar, so the amount of buyers it took to move price up here compared to the amount of sellers it took to move price down to just halfway of this bar. So there was almost a double amount of sellers, but the bar closed like basically half of the positive bar. So I'm thinking, okay, the buyers are still in control, or the passive buyers are still in control. They're gonna try and take up, at least maybe take out this high, or at least come back up to the previous high.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
I am also thinking they probably want this volume down here, so
Order placed.
now I'm placing a buy limit. So basically I'm just saying if this stop loss gets filled, I want to immediately enter long, because I know that that's just a stop run before they take price up to the top side. But I don't think I don't think they take out the stop here. I think I'm gonna get filled in the TP. Now we also start seeing very strong negative delta, a lot of trapped sellers down here. This was the imbalance initially that they wanted price to come back down into. That has been taken out. All of these sellers are now thinking, okay, this momentum move to the downside is continuing. They get trapped, and then I'm expecting the passive buyers to move price up higher. And that's why I'm placing this limit order there. Just, if my stop loss gets taken out, I don't mind. I'm just gonna enter directly again, and at least then probably make a break-even trade, like one loss, one win. But I don't get taken out, and let's see what happens here.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, so I took that off. I would have probably held on to that. Yeah, now they move it up. I made a small win, but probably didn't like it that I had been underwater on this trade, and then I didn't want them to come back down. So now there's a lot of liquidity that just been taken out here, but they just squeeze right through it. So there's a lot of strength now in buyers, both aggressive buyers and passive buyers.
Order placed.
Yeah, so there we started seeing some hesitation. Very aggressive entry, I would say.
Order placed.
I think I'm gonna take a loss on this one. At least it doesn't look too good here on the order flow. I really should just exit out of that one. I don't know why I'm not doing it. Looks like I'm gonna take a loss here. I might just get very lucky on that one. At least I took it off there before taking a full loss, but again, bad trading in the middle of nowhere. No real signs that price was gonna reverse. So on the contrary, I mean, yeah, very poor trading in this session.
Order placed.
Okay, I place that buy limit here off of this high volume node. And again, the reason why I'm confident placing it there is because we start seeing absorption to the upside. Just trapped sellers. I don't think I'm going to get filled in this one. If I remember correct, I think price is going to shoot up without me, or maybe not. Again, the sellers are not managing to get price down there, so really don't know if I'm gonna get filled here.
Order placed.
Okay, I got filled there.
Order cancelled.
I'm just
Order cancelled.
aiming at a small
Cancelled.
retracement back up on into this volume here.
Order filled.
Just gonna zoom through here. It's pretty much the same setup, just playing over and over again.
Order cancelled.
So yeah, here now I start seeing, I don't know if I'm gonna take a short here. At least I had a pending limit sell order here. I might just mark it in. We start seeing now a whole lot of buyers, but price is moving down right again. So that's same thing, just telling me there's a lot of selling passive sellers sitting up here. We also see it on the cumulative delta volume, or cumulative volume delta, trying to squeeze up with the aggressive buyers, but price is not reflecting that. So I'm expecting a
Order placed.
okay, so I mark it in there.
Order cancelled.
Let's see if I get a win on this one.
Order cancelled.
And I'm just targeting again point of control, not being greedy here.
Order cancelled.
Also protecting my position, just trailing my stop a little bit further down.
Order filled.
Okay, so I got taken out there. I think that might be the last trade of the day. Yeah, so again, if we just recap here, I mean, I guess from here on up, it's fine. You know, making a few wins, taking a few losses, making a few wins, taking a few losses. I'm completely happy with it. I think some of these trades in here were just completely impulsive and not following any signs. Just, you know, and if you can avoid these type of losses here, it really doesn't take much to get up and reach a daily profit. If I'm expecting to make $600 to $800 a day, avoiding these losses is really what makes it easier. And obviously, having avoided this $600 loss off the open, which is just insane, would have made the whole day a lot easier. But overall, profitable P&L, and that's okay. So now I'm gonna wrap it up here. If anybody watches this and have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. The stream will stay up on my channel. Yeah, hit the like button, add a comment. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to give away the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last 7 or 8 years that I've been trading, and I really hope that I can help other traders getting better at their game and succeeding. I know it's very difficult and very challenging, and it will always be. It still is for me. I'm by no means a perfect trader, but I'm making money way more days than I'm losing money, and I'm making more money than what I'm losing. So it's going well. But anyway, I really would like to. I hope that it can help other people, basically. So that's it for now. Wish you all the best. Take care, and stay in touch.